GX, I'll be doing the thank yous tonight for everyone. The majority of you probably familiar new faces to GX. The reason for that is we've got two fresh artists that we've never had exhibited here in the gallery, so it's great that a lot of you are discovering this space as well. Some of you have travelled a fair amount of distance. The artists probably have travelled, well, Michael not so much because he's based in London now doing his MA at the Royal Academy, but a major effort from Tristram, leaving his 1 month old little baby and making it down to GX Gallery. So
she sends her apologies.
Somebody asked me earlier, Mike actually, I won't say any names, what brings the two artists together? And I couldn't think of anything. And I said, well, actually, there isn't anything that brings them together. But I've been thinking for the last 15 minutes, and I thought, actually, there is something that brings them together. They're just as crazy. And I was just thinking, why? And I just came across one title of one piece of work of Michael, which is Appreciating Peanut Butter. And I thought, well, okay, that's interesting. But then another title of Tristram's work is Your Ego is Writing Checks Your Body Can't Cash. And I thought that's probably what brings them together. There is always something that brings art together, and I think that's why we're here, and we're all together for the same reason, the same purpose. I won't say too much about Tristram or Michael, because both of them would say probably something about the work, but there is something special that brings the two artists here, and what is that special element is always the quality of the work, and it is that scouting that GX Gallery has been doing for over 13 years to try and to bring good quality work to people that really love and appreciating art. We're not saying that there is bad quality work out there, but sometimes there is. So we're really, really happy and appreciative of having two amazing artists. One which is partially established and he's been out there and he's been pushing his cause for a number of years, which is Tristram, and somebody who we really believe has got a lot of potential, and that it's Michael. He's still at his second year at the Royal Academy doing an MA, and we really believe, and I think by looking at the work you can really tell that there is a good quality. The work, it's almost accomplished already at this stage at a really, really high level. So we're really happy to be able to have two artists of this calibre, and hopefully, who knows, if we had a crystal ball we will all be able to tell where they're going to be in a few years, but we know where they are now, and that's what we like. So thank you very much for being here tonight. Enjoy the rest of the evening. We'll be going on for about an hour and a half from now, so enjoy the rest of the evening. And I'll pass you to Michael, who will be saying a few thank yous and hopefully tell us something about his work, and then bouncing on to Tristram, and then after that enjoy the exhibition.
Well, again, thank you for coming, and as Davide mentioned, we've got a final year of the RA coming up, so sort of working towards that show as well. And then the other thing about appreciating peanut butter, I was sort of just thinking about some of the anecdotes that come together with some of these paintings, and I suppose it's natural that you the things you kind of experience and go through do sort of enter into the work, and for me that's, I suppose, a really important aspect. One of the other things, just looking around, seeing the kind of the difference in terms of size, you know, sort of it goes from incredibly small to incredibly large, and that's quite a sort of strange feeling for me, because you know, I work on them individually in the studio, and you know, even in terms of the objects in the paintings may be very large, very small. I suppose I was just recently thinking about that relationship, you know, seeing them all together and how your eye kind of goes in and out, because I'm sort of quite fascinated by composition and how you're sort of led around the painting. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting hang for me. Yeah.
Well done. Tristram.
Hello. First of all, I'd like to thank Daisy and David, and also Michael, because to be exhibiting with somebody of this calibre was actually quite intimidating. I think he's a really good painter, so first of all, that's what made him. I'll talk about my work slightly. The exhibition downstairs is very much split into two halves, really. There's it's about 2 years' worth of work downstairs. The first half is towards the latter end of the gallery. It's more to do with the way that we're bombarded with visual information in this digital age, and that can be anything from walking down the high street through to reading a newspaper to looking through the internet on a haphazard kind of way. I have a non-kind of route down where I pick my work, but it's very much like literally grab anything that takes my interest. It could be through international travel, through to on the route to the gallery tonight. whereas the latter work is very much to do with referencing 18th century, 19th century portraiture, British portraiture, and now I'm looking at various ways, specifically animal portrait paintings. It's quite a specific, weird kind of avenue, but like there's landscape painters like Henry Dawson and Paul Nash that kind of create pastoral, idyllic country kind of scenes, and I've merged that with a painter called Lucien Levers, which is a painter that's a Nottingham-based painter in the collection at Nottingham Castle Museum where I work. So I'm kind of using the collection that I'm familiar with within my work now. It's very weird kind of work. I should say I'm a curator as well at a museum. So what I'm doing now is kind of looking at different representations of landscape, Britishness and portraiture, and merging them with contemporary references, but all sourced from the internet. So downstairs, we're talking about titles, we're talking about your peanut butter work. I've got a painting called Cloud Hair downstairs, which was a phrase I've never really heard of before, but I attribute my titles to really strange way, like conversations or mannerisms I've never heard before. But cloud hair is a particular kind of shape of a pensioner's haircut, sometimes blue rings. So like everything's a little bit tongue-in-cheek with my work, and that's kind of a typical example. But that piece there was in an exhibition in New Art Exchange in Nottingham very recently, and it's drawn quite a lot of attention. And because of that and the Las Mateus downstairs as well, especially with this piece, I've just been commissioned a very, very large commission, which I'm incredibly excited about, for the Corner House in Manchester. So there's lots of things going on with my work at the moment, and I'll be delighted to speak to you individually then while into a room, and I know you'd rather have a drink. So please enjoy yourself, and I'll come say that later. Thank you.
Thank you.